Good morning. The UU Choir and its guest members of the congregation and I are very pleased to be presenting Amahl and the Night Visitors for you, an opera that was written by Giancarlo Menotti and previewed in television. It's the only opera ever written for television in 1951, and it's still alive and well as one of his best pieces that he's ever done. He wrote this opera for children. But you're going to have to back up a little bit in that little nook back there.
Oh, okay.
We got people
I thought
doing
Gail
things.
should share one of our characters. It's okay, it's okay.
Okay, think it's all right? Okay, good enough. I just don't want him to get run over there. Okay. Okay, I would like to tell you, therefore, some things about opera that you might not know. You may not have been, and maybe you're an adult that hasn't been to an opera, but let me just say a few things that might make it easier to understand our production, which it is done in a very simple way. First, about the set. Now, if you were in a big opera house somewhere, they would have constructed a set, and you would see a full constructed cottage made of stucco with a large window over here. First, though, I need some people on the stage. I need the shepherds are going to come up and sit on the edge. Yeah, the Amahls are on this, coming up in a bit. You can be on the stage from the beginning. Good. Oh, and we have a king. We have Santa Claus in a king's seat. That's interesting. In a large hall, the set would be on the stage. They would have constructed it, and they probably would have had it on a rotating sort of lazy Susan, and they could turn it around and you could see the inside of the house. But since we're doing it simply, I want you, boys and girls and adults, to imagine this stucco wall here, but you have X-ray eyes and can see through it. And over here, I want you to imagine a huge wooden door. This door plays a very important part in our story, right here. Can you picture the door? Big wooden door, okay. And right over here, the mother's going to show you where it is. There's a window. Look at her push the window open. It has shutters. Couldn't you just tell that the shutters were there? Someone is sitting in there. That's a rock. Believe it or not, you almost sat on a rock because that's what that is. That chair there is not a chair, it's a rock. Okay. So we ask you to use your mind's eye and just imagine these things. Also, there's hardly any rain, so you can imagine just kind of a flat roof. And as mother pushes that shutter open, often she's looking at her little boy, Amahl, who is 11 years old and was born disabled. He has one leg that doesn't work right, so he has to walk around with a crutch all the time. And she looks out and makes sure he's okay because he was a shepherd. He took care of their sheep. The setting for this is the Christmas story, the gift of the Magi, and told through the eyes of this wonderful, endearing little boy, Amahl, whom you will come to see. But speaking of Amahls, we have something different in our version today. The part was so large that we gave it to two Amahls. You will see this Amahl, Amahl 1, who will be introduced later, in the beginning and the end of the story, and you'll see this little Amahl right here in the middle. But they are intended to be the same person. You can see they're dressed similarly. So whenever one of them's out there, it's still Amahl. Got it? Do you understand that, kids? That those two people are really playing the part of one person. I want you to know this. Okay. Now about the music in an opera. Oh, I didn't point out that they're sitting on a pallet of straw. That's their bed. I'm sure you could imagine that. And later we're going to have some guests sitting in those chairs, some very important guests to the story. Can you hear me all right? Yes. Good. About the music in the opera. An opera is a story, like a play, but the difference is instead of the words being spoken and then having a song and spoken and song, the whole thing is sung. The whole opera is sung, and it's sung in two kinds of songs. The first is called recitative. Can you say that, everyone? Recitative. Recitative is where you have conversation, but you put it to music. I'm singing recitative now. So there is no speaking at all in it. The conversation, the dialogue, comes in the form of recitative. Listen to the mother singing a little bit of recitative, and you'll find out what her mental state is.
Which one? Unless we go begging, how shall we live through tomorrow? My little son, a beggar.
So you hear, she's not in very good straits right now. They've sold all the sheep and the goats dead, and they don't have anything to eat or anything for the fire. They are in dire straits, and she knows they're going to have to go begging. But because Amahl is such an insouciant little person, he says, "Don't cry, mother dear. Don't worry for me. If I must go begging, a good beggar I'll be." Do that for me now.
Don't cry, mother dear. Don't worry for me. If we must go begging, a good beggar I'll be.
Now that was different than recitative, wasn't it? That was a little song. And a song in opera language is called an aria. Aria, recitative. So that's what you'll be hearing, boys and girls there on the floor. Arias and recitatives. Here's another little aria that Amahl number 2 sings later on down the line. So one of the players asks her, "What do you do, little boy?" And she sings,
I was a shepherd, I had a flock of sheep, but my mother sold them, now there are no sheep left.
There was another lovely aria. Okay. The other important thing to know about our production, I already told you about the 2 Amahls, and that's good. And imagine a big rock. That little boy over there has to move because he's on a rock that's going to be used in the opera. Yeah. In a moment, you'll see one of the Amahls go over there to watch the wonderful night sky. There is a sky that he describes in Menotti's beautiful libretto as soft winds have swept it and dark clouds have shined it, as if to make it ready for a king's ball. All its lanterns are lit, all its torches are burning, and hanging over our roof there is a star as big as a window. Now his mother, who knows him as a very fanciful boy, doesn't believe anything he says. So you can imagine when he comes in with this story about the star, whether or not she believes him. I think that's just about it, except for applause. In an opera, if someone has sung or danced or done something particularly well that moved you, it's quite all right. Applause is welcome, and we welcome it during this performance. But at the very end, it ends very quietly. You will see what happens at the end. It's just very quiet ending, and we will not applaud until we have a company bow at the end because the service is going on. Well, everybody, you ready? Ready, Reverend?
There we go. Let me get
Take
this
your places.
chalice out of your way.
Take your places. Enjoy Amahl and the Night Visitors, Giancarlo Menotti.